Hey, hey, good evening, everybody. I'm so excited to chat tonight. You guys have no idea. And let me tell you, your girl been binge watching Martha's Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. And I'm addicted, y'all. It's a good show. It's a really good show. If you are not watching Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, Martha's Jesus, help me God, Martha's Vineyard, you need to get into it. Candace Dillard Bassett was like, "Girl, you need to get into it. Say less. I'm into it." And y'all, it's so good. So I've been doing a whole lot of nothing, just binge watching Summer House. I've been amazing. How is everyone doing tonight? Y'all, do me a favor. If you are new to Winter Womanland, welcome. If you are not new, say, "Girl, I'm back." If you're back, welcome back. I ask that you guys like, share, subscribe. If you haven't subbed yet, become a sub over here at Winter Womanland. We have a good time. We talk about it all. I said I was gonna enjoy my weekend because you guys know, y'all see my beautiful flowers in the background. That's from my baby. But we celebrated our 1 year dating anniversary on Saturday. And I just wanted to enjoy my weekend with him and not have to get into all of the social media. Y'all know I ain't been tweeting during the show anyway. Because what I realized, and I'ma honestly have to credit Carlos with this because one of the things I remember him saying with Dustin was that it doesn't do any good to try to go back and forth with the audience. People are going to believe what they see, and they're going to make their opinions based off of what they see. And you are literally fighting a losing battle trying to explain and connect the dots because it's too much chatter happening at once to get your point across. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to be honest, this is probably why Ashley came across like a crazy person or a madhouse online. Not that she is, but I saw her frustration, and a lot of her frustration spilled over on Twitter because she was trying to defend herself real time. And honestly, you might as well just let the audience feel how they feel and then wait to address it at a later time so you can like methodically go through what you feel like you want to address and let the chips fall where they may. And so that's why I quit tweeting. Furthermore, I feel like Twitter, I love Twitter, y'all. I actually really love Twitter, but it also can be a toxic place at times. So it's better to just protect your peace, stay off Twitter, wait until the dust settles, and then come out there. And if you got facts, post the facts. If you have an opinion, give your opinion. But I find that after the show airs, people settle in and they're more open to hear like your thoughts and your point of view, and you're not as emotionally involved while people are giving their real-time opinion as they're watching. For instance, y'all, at the end of the day, people are going to have their thoughts on everyone on I can't. At the end of the day, people are going to think what they want to think, and you have to know who you are outside of the show, and you have to know that there are parts of you and your character that are never going to get shown, and parts of you that people are never going to understand because you're being edited, and you're being edited to play a role, and y'all, we cannot control that at all. So one of my new approaches to this, because I like this weekend was like a stark reminder, like life is just so much different than it was 12, 13, 14, 15 months ago when we were filming the show. I presently am just not there. I'm not. Like, my life is very good. I'm in an amazing place. my life has been good outside of the show, and things have been steadily progressing and moving forward. So the approach I want to take tonight was just really answering your questions and giving more clarification as to what really, from my perspective went down. Because again, there are two sides to every story, y'all. I'm not naive to that. I feel like learning some of the things I learned was frustrating to me. And it was frustrating to learn about before doing their reunion. But one of the things I will say, it's a lot that happened. There's a lot of ground that covers, but I just want to be up, answer the questions and hear what y'all got to say and what y'all thought about the reunion. We are almost done with the season and I'm so excited. I want to take some time to acknowledge y'all on tonight. Welcome, Sharon Reed. It's so good to see you. Esther, hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. Tavares, welcome. Dewan, welcome, welcome. Where are you guys logging in from? Crooked Smile, welcome. Regina B, welcome. I've been well, Dewan, doing amazing. Always girl one, welcome back. Thank you for being a channel member. I see my channel members in the chat. In the chat, I'm so good to see y'all. If you're interested in becoming a Winter Womanland channel member, make sure you go ahead because y'all get some behind the scenes tea in Womanland that I don't post publicly and I'm never going to post publicly. Quintessential Jules, welcome, welcome, welcome. Final Dove, it's so good to see you. Welcome and thank you for checking in from Bowie, Maryland. You're local, local, local. You said hi, I'm new here. Well, welcome. You're welcome, welcome. Esther says, honey, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. The one says this season was good and I was rewatching this weekend. It's so interesting to hear that. You believe we came together and we had a good show. Well, I appreciate that. Is it Shannon or Shannon Reed? Um, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Stevie J, thank you for being a channel member. You're tuning in from Virginia. You said explain his behavior the other night. Okay, fabulous. Hello, Winter from Atlanta, my beauty. Welcome, welcome. Nicole, welcome from Waldorf, Maryland. All right. All right, all right. I think I got through everybody for now. Ursula, welcome from Baltimore County. Crooked Smile says, I feel like the show needs to end. It's too toxic at this point. That's a very interesting comment. You said Shauna. Okay, I just wanted to pronounce it correctly. So Shauna, welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh, Thank you so much, K Chanel. I appreciate that. Shout out to my glam squad. They did an amazing job. My normal makeup artist makeup machine was not able to go with us. They unfortunately would not allow for us to have our own glam squad. They provided the glam squad for us at reunion, meaning you don't typically get your own people. I personally paid to fly Corey down to do my hair, but I did use their makeup artist. Um, I did use their makeup artist that they provided for us, which is, y'all, reunion is such a big deal. And I was so um, a little bit annoyed because we didn't get the opportunity to select our own makeup. I was not relenting on my hair, so I just paid for Corey to fly down and do my hair for me. Because listen, whew, so keep shining. That's a wonderful question because my weight fluctuates. Honestly, I have an autoimmune disorder that causes my weight to go up and down. So sometimes I'll be really thin and sometimes I'll be, have a little curvaceous meat on my bones. Hey Andrea, welcome, welcome. I should make you a moderator and thank you for being a channel member. I appreciate that, Shauna. All right, so this is how it's gonna go. I want you guys to drop your questions in the chat and I will answer them as we go. And if you are a channel member, I'm going to drop the link at some point and you're going to have the option to click the link. And if you're a channel member and I verify that you're a channel member, I'm going to allow you up stage to ask your question live and chat live. I think that is a wonderful perk of being a channel member of Winter Womanland. So first question here. She says, the reason why I say the show needs to end, is because where's the resolve, in my opinion? I think that's a great point. I think the truth is what you guys see is the truth. Our cast is not in a good place. There's been a lot of boundaries um crossed, and a lot of things that have been done and said across the board. No one is innocent. Everyone has engaged in the toxicity that is the totality of this cast. So no one is absolved of guilt. There are people who will say, "Well, I don't do anything until they do something," and the reality is that that's not true. Everyone has done something they have no business that has offended someone else. And until people are willing to take accountability for that, there's no moving forward. And so I don't know. I personally feel like I don't know where the show goes from this. It has become so toxic. I know I won't be returning. And I knew I wasn't returning going into the season. I wasn't returning for other reasons in addition to the toxicity, but I just knew I wasn't coming back. I never saw us ending this badly, though. The way things have ended has honestly shocked me. Because I felt like even though we had a lot of um, ups and downs season one, we were able to come together at the very end. And the fact that that did not happen this time, it was unfortunate. So at this point, I don't know if they canceled the show. I don't know if they recast the show, but with so many of us saying, "Hey, we're not coming back," I just that's I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know. Quite frankly, I'm ready for Love and Marriage Huntsville to come back on. I feel like again, they've always had better continuity than us. They started off as friends, and don't we don't have that. We just don't have that. A lot of these friendships are new and fresh. And again, once you take away some of the people that people in the audience deem um a problem, eventually these people probably turn on each other. Like that's what I see typically happens because you got to have drama somewhere. Um Now what I will say is maybe when you have a group of friends, you may be willing to have a pact. That's what they had season 1 that I didn't know about. There was a pact made, and the pact that was made was that they would not come from they wouldn't come for marriages, and they wouldn't come for kids. And I didn't know about that pact until I broke it. And I knew I broke it because Monique and Chris actually called me and said, "Hey, Ashley and Quick are really upset about what you said." And, we said that we wouldn't come for each other's marriages. And I'm like, "Well, Monique, the reality is I'm not going to take them coming for me. If they don't want me coming for them, they don't need to come for me." And I asked that you relay that message. I didn't know y'all had a pact, because if there's a pact, why don't I know about it? And why am I constantly being attacked? And then I can't say anything back. That's not fair. All that to say, we all saw how that ended. And so people love to say, "Well, Winter, you came for people's marriages." That's not true. It was actually in response to them making fun of what I was going through with Kevin. And so let's be clear, for every action, there is a reaction. The action was talking about me with Kevin. My reaction was saying what I said in regards to them. And I actually only said it once with Monique, and then she carried it back. But I like to point out the fact that if you guys go back and watch, when we get to the selfie museum, Monique says, "Yes, maybe I mixed things up." So she mixed up what I said in the context in which I said it. But y'all, we know on reality TV, if you say it, you said it, and they can misconstrue it or use it however they want to. I take ownership for saying it. I said it. But it wasn't said for no reason, and it wasn't said out the blue. So when people talk about, "Oh, well, Winter, you were being messy," in what context? And it's funny to me that everybody's arguing this season about what the audience doesn't see. But this was the same argument I had season 1. And I kept saying to the audience, "Y'all don't see everything. They're not showing everything that's happened." Because if you show everything that's happened, then it makes sense why I'm coming back the way I am. But y'all don't see that, so it just looks like I'm coming out the blue and being messy. Now everybody wants to point out, well, you don't see what's being said, and you didn't see her doing this. The audience don't see what they're not shown. So, you know, it's unfortunate, y'all. I don't know what happens from here. I really don't. I really don't know. Great question though. Great question. Next question. How do you feel about Arena always hovering, watching and waiting for you to mess up? I feel like in a lot of ways, Arena was disingenuous about trying to make amends. And I don't feel like that's naturally her character. I always thought Arena was very sweet, y'all. So I was very thrown off by the Ray Ray character. And if you guys go back and watch an interview I did with Carlos, I told him it did not seem like her at all. And it felt very inorganic and produced, because I've always known Arena to be very chill and kind of level headed. And I saw her get out of that. Um, so it wasn't until I watched the show back that I learned that she would make certain comments about her being weirded out about me and Ashley trying to be friends, or um, her saying like, I don't like that she called them the Cliftons. And I'm like, that was that really that big of a deal? Um, I didn't dislike Joy and Clifton. So that's been a huge misconception this season, is that I was somehow mad at Yusha for defending Joy, when really I was mad at Yusha for not defending Black, because Yusha had firsthand information. And the way in which he defended Joy just stuck out as very strange to me, seeing as how, I later learned he had auditioned for Ready to Love the same season as Joy and Clifton. So I just want to clarify that. I'm never going to change my stance. What y'all don't see is that I'm actually not super close with anybody on the cast. Yet I understand that once they saw that me and Ashley had became cool, their choice was to edit and piece together to make it seem like Ashley and I were cooler than we were during the season, because they were creating this us versus them. And actually the scene that Ashley and I did at Savage Fenty, if I'm not mistaken, I believe either Sherelle or Arena was supposed to do that scene, and it got changed. And so now I'm starting to connect the dots with the little things that they do while we're filming, when they decide to change and go in a different direction when they're trying to put together a storyboard. So I'm never going to change that. Never disliked Joy, never had an issue with Joy. The only issue I had is that Yusha didn't defend his friend when he himself, now y'all, if y'all ever wanna, y'all love to defend him on Twitter, and I'm not saying he shouldn't have people that defend him, but ask him his thoughts on the Joy and Black situation. And I would be willing to bet money that he'll be honest and say, I know for a fact Black didn't cheat on Joy's best friend. Yusha had knowledge of that, yet Yusha didn't speak up and say that. And he did actually, well, I will say he didn't speak up and say that more than once. He did speak up and say that at the cast trip, because him and Black had a separate conversation. They just didn't air it. And y'all, we can't control what they don't air. That was my only issue. That was my only issue. So I don't know why Arena was hovering, waiting for me to mess up. If I don't know if that was why she was doing it or not. I don't. But I just feel like she was doing what production told her to do. You know what, DeWan? That's a great point. I do wish Joy had got more integrated, because I will say when I hung out with Joy, me and Joy had a good time. Me and her went karaoke right before we went to reunion, and in the times when I went to things that they would do with Alisar Vodka. Y'all, we had fun. I had fun with her and Clifton. I hate that we just couldn't figure out a way to work around the whole Black of it all. I think that was a bigger issue. And definitely her and Ashley, they just were not seeing eye to eye. So that kind of sucks. I appreciate that. I'm never going to get in people's face. That's crazy. I just not going to do it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Love and Marriage Huntsville. Esther says she's sorry she done with DC. You said Ashley is a Scorpio. I hate Scorpios. Now listen, I don't hate them because my daughter's a Scorpio. But child, they are not easy to deal with if you don't know how to handle them. You said is blues in the oh, blue eyes. No, not that I know of. Not that I know of. And I will say, y'all, I don't know that Clifton really wants to be at odds with Carmen. They became really close. In fact, in fact, you know, I always saw Clifton and Carmen together, even after reunion. And it's funny because I believe there was an interview that Joy did where she said that I was dating everybody, but to stay on the show. I don't think she knew that I had no intentions of coming back to the show. But like she took a picture with my boyfriend. But interestingly enough, I'm going to see if I can find it and I'll put it up on the screen. I got nothing to hide. Let me see if I can find it. But what I will say is that Joy and Clifton were always very close, y'all. I mean, not Joy and Clifton, but Clifton and Carmen were always very close. And quite frankly, um I always saw Clifton and Carmen together. So about 4 days after our reunion, about 4 days after our reunion, there was an event that Carmen had for Santana. And there was also another event going on at Salamander Resort called the Family Reunion. Well, my boyfriend was at the family reunion with some friends of his, and I was at the Santana event with Carmen and Clifton. And so my boyfriend says, "Hey, you won't believe who I ran into." And I was like, "Who?" He was like, "Joy is here." I was like, "Oh, tell her I said, hey." And so he said, "Hey." Winter said, "Hey." So anyway, there's like, he and I are texting each other. And I was like, "Oh, tell her I said, hey, I'm here with Clifton and Carmen." And her response was, "Oh, I bet you are." That's what she said. All that to say, I always saw Clifton and Carmen together. I never really saw him without Carmen. So I that's an unfortunate situation because I personally thought they were thick as thieves. Um, but this is the thing. What I personally don't disagree with, um, what I personally don't disagree with is her not liking how Clifton and Carmen were, because I just wouldn't be okay with it. And people can call that insecure all you want to, but my man know how I get down, and he wouldn't like it if I had a man that I was super close with like that as well. I tell you what, I definitely wouldn't like nobody rubbing on my man's beard, and he has a nice one. That's my beard. That's my beard. That is my beard. I'm trying to see if I can send this because I honestly want to be, um, I want to make sure that I'm sending the right thing. But y'all, I really, it was so many relationships broken this season. It's just unfortunate. You said, "Are you not going on tour with other ladies?" No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not. You said, but that's what's crazy to me. Is it's a reality show, and that's when it shows that they're telling y'all what to say. I mean, they hold up these little things when we're filming, y'all, to tell us what to talk about. They don't necessarily tell us what to say. Not a pyramid scheme. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. You said like when I didn't like the fact. Yeah, so Janice, I can't remember what was happening during reunion, but he actually, so y'all, reunion is a long day. I don't think y'all understand. We're on set for what seems like 15 hours. That's a 12 to 15-hour day. That's a long freaking day. It's a long day. So I can't remember what happened during that time, But at some point, I realized that I was over talking him, and he was like, can I said, sure, no problem. Go ahead and speak. But um, I really just didn't want him there. I'm going to be honest. I just didn't want him there. And a producer called and let me know ahead of time that he was going to be there. Um, and I don't agree with him pitching his brand, y'all. This is the thing. He tried to pitch his brand. A producer called me to tell me that he tried to pitch his brand behind my back. And the crazy part is that it wasn't that he wanted to pitch his brand, it's how he went about it. Why is the first that I'm hearing of you trying to pitch your brand from a producer? Why wouldn't you come to me directly? In fact, when I found out this is what he did, I thought he did it once. A producer said he did it more than once, and I didn't learn that until right before reunion. So when I found out that he did it once, when I questioned him about it, he was like, I didn't want to bother you, but do you mind asking them if they'll do a scene for me at the studio? And I said, okay, I'll ask. When I asked our producers if he could do a scene because he wanted to invite Joy and Clifton, I actually still have this text and we can pull it up because I don't have time to go back and forth with what people are placating on social media. These are facts. This is not me making it up. My producer said absolutely not. And he needs to stop asking. We're not going to air his scenes when it comes to his scenes. He's not a part of the cast. He is here by way of you. He is here because we are capturing you guys' relationship and him getting to know you. If he becomes a part of the cast because y'all go the distance, we'll talk about doing his scenes then. But that wasn't a Winter call. That was a me call. But after the producers learned that we had broken up, one of the producers pulled me aside and said, hey, I didn't get a good feeling about him because he kept trying to get his scenes, his brand promoted, and he tried to get scenes to promote his brand. And I didn't think it was cool that he was coming to us without you. So, cool, promote your brand. But if I think that you're here to get to know me, you shouldn't be going behind my back to try to do other things. That's not okay. So, you said I didn't go to a lot of events. Explain what you mean there. You said, did you and Carlos come to an agreement for you not to do the Mother Day event? No, he removed the flyer after he heard that I was not coming. That was a lie as well that somebody shared recently. Carlos didn't remove me just to remove me. He heard me say I was not going. He heard me say I was not going, and I'm sure that it got back to him that I was not going. I don't think he's not crazy. And they later got an email. So, no. I'm not mad at him for removing my flyer. Quite naturally, if you learn that someone's not attending, you're going to remove their flyer. It's okay. I'm not mad about it. Ashley and Arena's friendship had nothing to do with me. I think the issue came with the joy of it all, to be perfectly honest. Um, I just feel like honestly, y'all, I don't think that Joy and Ashley couldn't have gotten past it. That's my personal opinion. I don't feel like they couldn't have gotten past it. I think the issue was Clifton. There's been worse said to each other. You know? There's been worse said. They could have got past it. I think when the Clifton situation became an issue, it went left. All right, larger curves. You said, just wonder, why was it a problem that you should have tell you something before you found out from someone else? It seems like you would have been madder. So I was not mad that you should told me beforehand. I heard him out it started to click that there was more to the story in how he behaved towards Joy. So I don't know if he was honest about this, but when he told me, he actually prefaced it by saying, I don't want you to get upset about it. And when he told me, I'm like, well, why would I get upset about it? And to me, I actually didn't understand why he told me, because if you audition for Ready to Love, you audition for Ready to Love. Neither here nor there. But as we start to see things play out, I think he was trying to get ahead of it. But it honestly just made me more aware. If he hadn't said anything, I might not have been able to pick up on certain discrepancies the way that I did. But because he did, my eyes were wide open. Later, this is what they didn't air. So I'm gonna give y'all what they didn't air. So we discussed this at reunion. What I learned is that there was a casting director that received his video. She said he never made it past the initial submitting his video. Joy was not even cast by the time that he submitted his video. So she was like, he was never a consideration. He was never going to move forward. In fact, they thought he was a little strange and they just didn't think he would be a good fit. So his casting video was discarded. So what we learned is that he made up the whole matching with Joy. That's what the casting director told us. And so I'm not going by what he's told me or what anyone else has told me. The casting director told us he never made it that far. Joy wasn't even cast yet for somebody to tell him. So that's just not true. So I don't know. And that's when I'm like, you could have just been honest and we just wouldn't even got this far. You said the Tyler said CK took you off the Mother's Day show. So he took me off after he learned I wasn't coming. Which he should. Why are you advertising somebody ain't gonna be there? It makes sense. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. You said, why did it seem like you were only trying to see Ashley's perspective? And why was you upset him going to be on the other show? So that's the thing, y'all. He was never going to be on Ready to Love. They were never going to cast him. He didn't make it outside of submitting his video. He had a friend that encouraged him to submit a video. He did. We spoke to the casting director. He never made it past submitting his video. He was never going to be on Ready to Love. That's not true. I want to clarify that. That's not true. He auditioned for it, is what I said. He didn't make it. And I didn't only see Ashley's perspective. That's all they chose to air. So that's unfortunate. Why were you upset that Yusha was understanding? No. So and they didn't air this either. When I talked to Joy and I met up at, oh gosh, what's the name of that place? I can't think of the name of the place, but you guys saw me and Joy meet after the cast trip. And I told her that Yusha actually helped me understand her perspective, but I was not mad at Yusha for understanding Joy. I was mad at Yusha, for not defending his friend and giving perspective, because he was the only one that knew Black during the time that Joy was talking about this cheating occurred. And he didn't speak up during that time. So it wasn't about him being understanding towards Joy. It was about him not really standing up for his friend. And for me, if you can't stand up for me when I need you to stand up for me as a friend, that's a problem. You said, I like Joy, but don't get their friendship dynamic. That's weird to me because they came from Ready to Love, looking for love. Ugh. Let's see. Larger curves and wonders the truth. They went up to Jamie. Why would I go up to Jamie? That's so random. Jamie and I were legitimately having a whole conversation. And we talked about that day. So no. And Arena, I'm trying to think. I can't even remember the ins and out, but it wasn't just me running up to Jamie to tell him something. That's ridiculous. Doesn't even make sense. And in fact, because I really didn't think anything of it, me just talking, because Jamie and I were rehashing a lot of stuff. And trying to get understanding, because another thing y'all love to say I did was talk about their son, and that's not true. And I was explaining to Jamie my thought process and perspective. And he said, well, he understood, but he was asking me to understand Arena's perspective as well. I told Jamie my only issue was that Arena took it to the blogs. And to me, that wasn't cool, because I purposely didn't do it in front of the camera, because I wasn't trying to make this a moment. I think when you do things in front of the camera or you take it to the blogs, you're trying to have a moment. And when I talk about, you know, things concerning people's kids, that's not funny to me. I'm not going to take it to the blogs, and I'm not going to do it on camera for a moment. This is me being human to human, person to person, mom to mom. Much like this situation with Jamie and the preacher, which is why, I mean, he said it. I know why he would recant it. Who's going to admit to that to somebody's husband? But at the end of the day, I didn't think anything of it. And I was shocked that Arena was mad at me. But Arena also recanted the same conversation to Ashley. Ashley has the text. So this is just not me making stuff up out of thin air. It's what happened, and it's unfortunate. And am I apologetic now? Apologetic for what? I didn't do anything wrong. The only thing I did was recant it, and I recanted it directly to the important parties. Me and Arena had a conversation about it. Jamie and I had a conversation about it. And when Arena and I talked about it, I apologized to her for offending her, but I wasn't trying to offend her. I was just being honest. Now, when it comes up again in my interview, I only repeated it again because Arena didn't repeat what we talked about, and that's what we talked about in that scene. So, am I apologetic if it offended her? All she had to say was, Winter, I don't want you to ever bring it up again. Duly noted. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I'm sorry if it offended her for me bringing up. But I didn't lie. That's what he said. I just, I wish he had just shut up. But it's no different than Arena repeating what her daughter told her, what Angela said. You don't repeat something like that. Now, the one courtesy I gave Arena, she didn't extend to Ashley. And you repeated it in regards to minors. Let's be clear, Jamie them do not have young kids. Their youngest, I believe, is 25, and I think their oldest is 30. Ashley actually has minors like I do. So for you to repeat something that's so accusatory and it comes to mothering, that's just low. That's just low. And I did not do that to her. I did not bring this up and on while we were filming for it to be a moment. And I only brought it up in my interview because he played something for me and I'm like, that conversation's incorrect. This is what we talked about. But I never accused her, and I never said she was guilty, and I never said the guy was telling the truth. So if it offended her, I apologize for that, but I told the truth of what was said to me. Just like she says, she told the truth of what was repeated to her. But I just hated that she did that. So to me, that's the pot calling the kettle black. Because essentially you did to Ashley what you didn't want me to do to you, which was repeat what you heard. Do you read body language? If so, is there trouble in paradise with Joy and Clifton because she had her hands on him? Ooh, Sheila. Let me tell you. So y'all saw a clip. True story. The clip that they air with Joy, we never saw until reunion. It was a surprise clip that none of us had saw, not even Clifton. They didn't know that she had did that confessional talking about feeling alone in her marriage. I don't know if there's trouble in paradise, but that was shocking for all of us to watch. And my heart actually went out to Joy, y'all. I don't ever want to see a couple break apart, and I don't ever want to see a couple break up. And I would hate to think that his relationship with Carmen is the reason for that. I know for me, it's like I told Joy, I was uncomfortable with the way I feel that Carmen threw her under the bus at Jamie's retirement party. Um, but I don't know. I don't know anything about Joy and Clifton's marriage. Like, I don't know. I hope not. Everybody knows the first year is the hardest, and hopefully they just went through first year jitters, you know? You said because of how, yeah, it was a no for me. I don't know. I don't know. It's unfortunate. Black Swan, welcome, welcome, welcome. You said Ashley is not real nice, but the Tylers turn on her and her husband. I feel in real life Ashley is a nice person. I think everyone has a nice side outside of the show. I mean, in the show, we're casted as a character, and you can't control that, what character they give you. And some of that character is infused with our real personalities, and some things are a product of editing, you know? Not spilling his own cast tea. I don't know if they are trying to be the stars. I don't, I mean, it's an ensemble cast. I feel like everybody is a star in their own right. I just didn't appreciate that. How come you never helped Joy with her fashions? I okay, so I feel like Joy is an eclectic soul, and I feel like she dresses how she wants to dress. I have people in my life like that. Um, so I don't know. It's weird. Southern Girl Florida, you said, I think you're using the pitch and brand as a scapegoat to the real issue. Yeah, but Southern Girl, that's because y'all are going with the storyline of thinking that I actually had an issue with Joy. I never had an issue with Joy. And she was not being bullied. That's also a misconception as well. That's the narrative y'all choose to follow, and if you choose to follow it, that's your prerogative. But Yusha and I had our own problems, honey. The pitching of the brand really didn't become an issue until right before reunion. My issue with Yusha was not taking up for black. My issue with Yusha was being Muslim, half Christian, half Muslim. We disagreed on religion. And Yusha was also doing the most with my friends. My friends did not like Yusha at all. And that was another challenge for us in our personal relationship. Yusha and I also struggled with communication. We had a very difficult time communicating. Very difficult time. It's like he spoke Chinese, I spoke Japanese. We did not relate well to one another at all. And so I think y'all, unfortunately, and I'll let y'all keep that thought process because y'all only believe what you see a lot of times. But I can pull way too many texts that would like shut that down so quickly. He and I had a whole back and forth with Sherelle and Black right there in the middle of the group chat, child. We had a lot of issues. You say you weren't close with them like that. You didn't go to a lot of events. No. I mean, I tried to support here and there, but I have my own friends in my own life, y'all. That's just the truth. We have our own life over here. Thank you, Regina. Oh, the street renaming ceremony. Yeah, I wasn't at any of that. So I didn't attend the street renaming ceremony. I didn't attend Christmas Eve's Eve. I didn't attend the football game, not the football, the basketball game. Um, I didn't attend a lot of stuff, and that's what I'm saying. Um, I literally just feel like I did the best I could to relate as well as I could. Trying to like figure out a way forward because I just didn't end off at a good on a good foot with any of them. So I was just doing my best, y'all. Doing my best. Do you think you should have communicated with him that you were not going before telling all of? I don't talk to him anymore. He's blocked. And I don't owe him an explanation. And honestly, I think you should and I could have been cool, but you should did some very key shady things, in my opinion, that ruined it for us. Um, and I am 1,000%, 1,000% certain that while we may never have been friends, we would have at least been cordial. But once I feel like you are being manipulative and intentionally doing things that are manipulative, I cut off all. We're done. And there was something that occurred um, between my friend, my one of my best friends, Caressa. Um, that just did not set well with me. And her and I had a conversation, and she finally actually had to cut off talking to him as well. So that was really the demise and why I actually chose to block him, because I was just, the way he was moving was not okay in my opinion. Otherwise, y'all, it ain't that deep. We realized we weren't for each other. It didn't work out, moving onward. You said the petty's not nice in my opinion. I didn't watch Ready to Love like that. I didn't watch Ready to Love like that. I do think he had a thing for Joy. I did. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. I do think he was sweet for her. He had a little soft spot for Joy. He told me, and the casting director was willing to send me his casting video. But she said she wasn't casted, so there's no way that somebody would have told him that. You said you didn't go to a lot of events. You filmed the majority with the Duncans. That's true. Trying to get through these questions, y'all. Hold on. Bev, what do you mean? So why was it mentioned? Explain yourself so I can answer your question. Question: You knew also that Clifton did not do anything to Ashley. Why didn't you say anything? Is it because you were hoping that Ashley would still be your friend? I actually heard both sides out. Y'all honestly have to talk to production about why they didn't air it. I was on nobody's side. I wasn't there. So in my scenes, I didn't know what to believe. I didn't see y'all the basketball scene until it aired. So up until that point, everyone is giving me their side. So y'all are not going to see me back up anybody because I don't know what happened. I was not at the basketball game. Jamie told me to watch it when it aired. Ashley told me to watch it when it aired. Joy told me to watch it when it aired. Clifton told me to watch it when, like, I was not there. So I did not see what happened. So I can't have an opinion. For me, Clifton's a big guy, but to me, he just made a, okay, true story. Yo, I don't have an issue with Clifton. But Clifton, he liked to play with people. And what he did to me was more of an antagonistic move. Um, but I don't think it was an aggressive move. Do you understand what I'm saying? So for me, I just kind of felt like it was Clifton being Clifton, but I don't feel like he was trying to put her in danger. What I will say is I can't speak for how it made Ashley feel. I can't. If she felt like he was threatening to her, she felt like he was threatening to her. I know for me, I just felt like Clifton was being Clifton. But I don't feel like he was trying to threaten her in a sense. Not in that moment. It didn't appear that way with me. A. Marie, That's how it's edited. I never had an issue with anybody. That's how it's edited, though. So I understand why people think that. Me and Joy never had any beef. Not at all. Oh, let me send y'all this because that, it'll help clarify a lot. It'll help clarify a lot. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull this up right quick so we can just get some context. Um, we can just get some context for y'all on dates so we can shut this whole you didn't like Joy. Not true. Me and Joy had no issues whatsoever. Now I gotta be careful because um I don't, y'all can't be seeing who my man's is publicly. Okay. So this is actually, if you guys can see it. Oh, hold on. I didn't show y'all too much. Hold on one second. I'm like, hold on. Let me see if I can cover it up. There we go. All right. Can you guys see it? So this is August 17th, 2024. You guys see this? This is the event that was 3 days after we filmed Reunion. We filmed Reunion on August 14th. So 3 days after our reunion, my boyfriend is texting me. So literally, if we scroll, let me put all his business on here, Jesus. So if we continue to scroll, literally, and I'm trying to cover up his face so y'all don't get on my nerves. So y'all see Joy? And literally, he sends me a text August 17th and says, Joy said hi. My response was laughing emojis. I'm trying to see if y'all can see this. My laughing emojis. I'm laughing and said, I was just with Clifton. Tell her hey. So for y'all to sit here and think that me and Joy were just at odds and beefing, it's not true. We were good. I didn't have a reason to have an attitude or issue with Joy. Joy and I were cool. We remained cool after the reunion. A lot of Joy and I's disconnect was when I said she needed to clock in outside of confessionals. And that was while the season was airing this year. Um, and that's when I noticed that when she went on live, she said that I was seeing a bunch of people, which is not true because she has a picture with my boyfriend. Um, so I don't know. You said, why was y'all so hung up on Clifton when he seemed the only speaker get involved when he was approached? I don't think anybody was hung up on Clifton, but Ashley and Clifton were definitely at odds. You said, why was Joy still holding to Black's breakup with her friend after all these years? Trina, that's a question for Joy. That's a question for Joy. I can't answer that. You said he had been friends with that dude for 10 years. Don't you think he would have a better perspective? Bev, he did. Y'all got to ask him this. He'll speak for himself and he'll tell you that he felt like Joy had it all wrong. If Black wasn't concerned, why were you so bothered? It gave that you were bothered. No, I was definitely really bothered that you shouldn't defend Joy. Not Joy, that you shouldn't defend Black. Y'all have to understand, Black's my guy. And I feel like with guys, I want to see what kind of relationship you have. And if you have knowledge that your friend is innocent, speak up. Seems to me Ashley can't be friends with more than one person because when you and Arena made up, Ashley and Arena wasn't getting along. I don't know. You said perhaps I'm not auditioning for no Ready to Love. I'm in a relationship. I'm good. They cut out Mr. Petty. He did jump at Ashley, in my opinion, to make Ashley look bad. Okay. Oh, I did not listen, Sally. I was not gonna sit beside him, and I was upset that they could have put him behind me. They did that to be messy. Why did I have Marriott go back? We already answered that. We already answered that. Arena was mad. She may have been. I mean, they married. I see them as one. Ashley is the aggressor in the whole situation. I wish she would grow up, admit she was wrong, apologize, and move on. Nobody's gonna pick their spouse. She did apologize, actually. Oh, let's see. Where am I at? Y'all, I'm trying to get to y'all's questions a lot. I'm sorry if I'm missing some. I'm trying to scroll and get to them. You said I was shocked when Arena did that. That was not cool. Andrea, Andrea, we probably have some trolls in here. Bless their heart. And I guess my lack of emotion um is probably weird for people. You said I don't think you and Arena have actual beef. I just think, everyone's not meant to be friends, y'all, and it's not the end of the world. Not Carmen has her own relationship. That's the truth. And not give you an extra 2,600. No, I'm good. I just think if I think so. This is the thing. Carmen and Joy stopped being cool before Clifton and Joy stopped being cool. And I feel like if your if your wife has a problem with the woman that you're friends with, then you got to cut it off, you know? You got to cut it off. So, Diana, this is a great point. So, when I responded and I was asked, have I heard about Clifton being sassy? Y'all do know we live in DC or the DMV with a lot of other people from Ready to Love Potomac and Ready to Love DC. And a lot of the women that we know from Ready to Love Potomac and Ready to Love DC did say that Clifton was sassy in their opinion. So I told the truth. That's what I heard. That's the truth. Whether he is or not, he's never been sassy to me. But I was asked, have I heard? I said, yes, I've heard it. I'm not gonna lie. It was okay that you guys rooted for me and you should. We just were not meant to be, y'all. We were not meant to be. And it's okay. I wish him well. I wish him well. Well, Marriott, he's good people. We ain't got to worry about him. Hold on. Should you be upset with Sherelle and Black since they knew him for years? I don't know. I don't feel like I should be mad at them because y'all, people are very different with friends than they are in relationships sometimes. And so I don't fault them for not knowing how he is in relationship. And if you know a person to be good people, you're just going off of what you know. So I think they learned a lot about Yusha during this experience. I think that he shocked them. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But and honestly, y'all, I had a bad experience with Yusha. It doesn't mean that everyone had a bad experience with Yusha. There may be women who speak good about him. There are women who speak bad about him. I was getting DMs from the time people knew he was on the show, clear up until the show started airing. In fact, one lady had wrote me and said that, the Duncans were aware that he was a bum. I don't know that, y'all. I feel like they thought he was a good enough person to introduce me to, and they left it to us to figure out, you know? Because I felt like I did at the time. What kind of question is that? People tell people they love them in 2 seconds. And some people tell people they love them after 6 months. That is no one size fits all. That's craziness. Who thinks, oh Lord, I don't know anything about that. God bless them. I refuse to give them any more energy. At some point, it's given fan behavior. You know? Because I don't spend my life talking about them. Yeah, and I think that's the weird thing um when it comes to dating. It's like, y'all, every relationship is not going to work out. Okay, we dated for 3.5 months. We learned it didn't work. Okay, it's not the end of the world. I was starting to feel my feels. I'm not going to apologize for loving someone. There's never any harm in having loved and loved well. But the more you get to know people, you think, hey, okay, this is not a good fit. This is not a good fit. I believe Quick stays away from home because he works a lot. Deborah, I have a lot of comments, and so I might have just missed your question, honey. Not intentional. Um, you said, why did, since you were not on any of the other parties, why did you jump on Ashley's bandwagon? I didn't jump on Ashley's bandwagon. It was edited that way. I think everybody had fault. Shade towards who? I don't have shade towards anyone. I'm giving my opinion. Do you think that you will ever just invite the ladies to your channel? This channel will not be about Love and Marriage DC once Love and Marriage DC ends. Never. I want to close this chapter of my life. Do you feel a way? So, in my experience with Yusha, he is very much about his business. And I feel like he'll always be about his business. And there's nothing wrong with that. We had some core issues, and I didn't like how he was going behind my back. So, Winter. Oh, thank you, DC. You said you mentioned you did 2 years of doctoral school. Do you? Yes, y'all. I have a 10-year window, and I haven't exhausted my 10 years. The goal is to finish. The goal is to finish. You said your face while she was talking. Yeah, I make faces all the time, and child, ain't no telling. 2024 August. Yes, 2024 August, y'all. Okay, I'm trying to get to all y'all's questions. Hold on. How would she think Ashley didn't have time for her children, but she had time to meet her son? I don't know. I just don't think it should have been said. Actually, I never had issues with Joy around Ashley. I let Ashley tell her side. If you guys don't recall, at the was it music video shoot? Andrea was there. Um, at the music video shoot, I was trying to get understanding, y'all. I was not around these people when they was having issues, so I was trying to get both sides. And at this time, I think they had Joy venting to Arena and Ashley was venting to me because we were the four main women on the show. Otherwise, I think they would have integrated all of us. So I don't know. It's just really weird. That's the way they chose to edit it. I'm sure I did have an opinion on Ashley's live. She has a right to feel like she was being intimidated. I can't tell her not to feel intimidated. Nay, if you go to my main page, there's a membership tab and you can become an IC Insider there. Deborah, I didn't have an issue with Joy at all. Me and Joy were good afterwards. Um, Shauna, no, they didn't think he was a good fit. They didn't think he was a good fit. They thought he was a nice guy, but they didn't think he was a good fit for me. So nothing wrong with that. But my kids are always going to be respectful. Let's see what Donna's saying. So I don't think we have to do reviews with each other. People can choose to do reviews with whomever. Yes, I do know Dakia. Kim, you got to clarify what you're talking about. I don't know if Joy and Black really had beef. I really wish that wasn't such a big part of the season. I have closure, y'all. Once this season ends, this chapter will be closed. I'm always open to a conversation. He knows how to reach me if he wants one. I just don't think that I don't think people get the larger behind the scenes of it all. But I'm not mad at him. I'm not angry with Carlos. Um, so yeah, I think that's a misconception that I'm angry. You said, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Um, you said, Deborah says, are you mad at him because you fell in love with him and he played you? No, I'm not mad at him. He's just not my people. And I just didn't like the way he handled things at the end. But child, we'd have moved on. Why are we holding on to anger? That's crazy. Right. Cute does not mean right. And some people didn't even think we were cute, you know? You say, yeah, it's all about growth. When you know better, you do better. Hey, you live and you learn. You said Monique needs to come back. I don't think Monique is coming back. You said, are you still planning to review? That's the goal. That's the goal. We'll see what happens. Uh, shows like no one. They go toxic by the end of the first season. Oh gosh. You said, I appreciate your honesty and transparency. Hate you left, but you're doing what's best for you. Yeah. Oh gosh. James Taylor went to your drop. Thank you so much. No, I will not be at the Mother's Day event. You said Clifton did not appear sassy. You said the slick way calling out derogatory comment that Ashley. I don't believe that a man should be I don't believe that anyone should be called out of their name. I just don't agree with it. I don't. So you said everyone was. Oh, Andrea, that's true. When we shot the video for Gutter Barbies, everybody was there except for Joy, and Joy couldn't make it that day. I'm not sure why she couldn't make it that day, but she was invited. I invited Joy. Um, and Tiara, I saw your question. I'll come back to it. Do you feel like connecting with Ashley has tainted your character? Nothing can taint my character, honey. My character is my character. What I do feel is that people do have a certain dislike for me because Ashley and I are cool. The issue though, y'all wouldn't feel this way if the show had aired earlier. Now that so much time has passed and we are super cool now, it appears that we got cool during the show. And that's not true. We got cool after the show. Doesn't matter. Because of how much you guys hate Ashley this season, anybody connected to her is getting is catching strays because y'all dislike her so much. And nobody could have predicted how much y'all dislike her this season. No one. Even Sherelle is catching strays, and y'all don't even see her like that this season, and y'all just been so nasty towards her. And I don't think that's right. Tiara Makins, I'm assuming. I believe that Yusha wore a lot of masks, actually. So I disagree with that statement. And even Black told him to his face that he wore a lot of masks. So I disagree with you. I believe that he is what he needs to be when he needs to be it. One of the things that I learned that he struggles with is anger. And I saw him be very calm and relaxed and collected. And other times he literally has an anger problem. I've seen him have to physically calm himself as not to fly off the handle. One instance was when we were filming and we were preparing for the cast trip. God is my witness. I can name every producer that was in the room with us when this happened because they had to pull him to the side and talk to him because he was angry. And so literally, he got mad because they would not spend time advertising his socks. And it infuriated him. I've never seen him act like that. And they literally had to pull him to the side and said, hey, this does not go with the storyline. We haven't had a proper time to introduce anything. Maybe later we'll figure out you could put him in. Like, it was a whole mess. So I don't disagree with that. I do disagree with that. I don't agree with that at all. He actually wore a lot of masks. And I would have preferred he just be honest. In fact, someone actually told me that, his brand was not active. And they actually looked that up in DC. You said, do you feel like Ashley befriend you to have a ally on the show next season? Tiara, I'm not coming back. So there was no need to befriend me to have an ally. And Ashley knew I wasn't coming back. So no, there's no need to befriend me to have an ally. I mean, I feel like my relationship with Carlos is as it has always been. Like I don't I think I told you guys this on my interview with Queen Sheba. We didn't have that much communication with Carlos. We didn't see him like that and we didn't talk to him like that. I haven't talked to Mo in over a year. Right, Angela? So I agree about the Joy and Black. Yeah, I just thought it went on too long. Yeah, Esther, I'm not coming back. Not I'm struggling. Um, I'll drop it up. I'll drop it in here, Nay, momentarily. No, I don't live in no Houston. I don't dislike her. Kim Pearson said, I don't think you were played by you, so he showed us true colors and he didn't work for you. That's fair. That's fair. Ashley does have friends. And me and Ashley don't hang out every day. I see her about once a month. You said, I like Black and Sherelle. Let's see. Terry Nola says you're catching shade. Well, I didn't manufacture the it wasn't a cheating rumor because I never said that Arena was guilty. I literally repeated what the guy said. He lied and said he didn't say it. I don't care what they put. Um I'm never going to retract that, y'all. I didn't lie. There's no way that he could prove that he didn't say it. That I can say for sure. He said it. He said it. Uh he said it. Devonna said, and I first of all, y'all got to think about where we're at. We're at a networking event. I'm not even fooling with the Tylers like that. So to just be going around and be like, do you know something about the Tylers? Do you know that's stupid. Y'all got I need y'all I need when people like say that I manufactured stuff on them, please make it make sense. We were not fooling with each other and honestly, a friend of mine, Shay, was there, was trying to talk to Jamie saying, I really want you and y'all in Winter to have a conversation. I think y'all can get past it. And so there was no reason to. The guy just started running his mouth. Only he knows why, honey. He has to take that up with his maker. um, he has to take that up with his maker. He does. I didn't, well, I brought it up to them directly, but when people don't own up to the way things really have transpired, it's kind of like, I wish I hadn't said nothing, child. Let me see. Backstory. I've told the backstory about it. I don't believe that I don't believe that he was disingenuous, say White. I believe that he was trying too hard. And for me, either you are something or you're not. And when you try too hard, maybe you need to rethink about whether or not this relationship is for you. Because for me, while I like gifts, I'm not going to tell you to live outside of your means, and I'm not going to tell you to get something for me that you can't afford. And we were told at that cash trip by Yusha that he was 4 months behind in his rent. And so for me, if you're 4 months behind in your rent, then let's not go buy an expensive gift. That doesn't make sense to me. And it implies poor decision making because I would have been happy with a card and some chocolates or a card and some flowers. And so I think he meant, I think I cried when he gave it to me. So I don't think at the time that he was being disingenuous. Now, when I later found out that he Googled a love poem, that's a problem because just don't do that. Lord, were you traveling from Herndon? I don't know what that is. Yeah, that was my issue with that. These are the details that a lot of people don't know. Um, Amaya, I think that's a question for Yusha. He's the one that said he knew for a fact. That's a question for Yusha. You got to ask him. There's some questions I can't answer. So yeah, I don't think at the time he was being disingenuous. I think he meant to give it to me, but I learned on the way home that he was struggling financially. And for me, it's priorities. I don't want you to go spend money on some Louis Vuitton sunglasses when you're struggling like that. It just doesn't make good sense. And to me, it struck me as something um I why because it's the truth. Y'all are asking me for context. I'm not here to lie. I'm not here to lie. She asked me a question about the glasses, and then I feel like he was being disingenuous. And so to explain context, and honestly, y'all are up in arms. These are things that Yusha would share himself. In fact, um, Sherelle tried to shush him when he was telling us about it because she wasn't sure if we were being filmed on the bus ride home. Um, he said he didn't care. He didn't care. He didn't care if people knew that he was behind. He will tell y'all himself, y'all. I'm not saying this to embarrass him. It literally is the truth, and he will own it. So what really shocked me and what caused me to have big pause that you shot dish for Ready Love and suggested that. Well, I think it wasn't even just that he suggested that Joy would have been a match. It's that the casting director said that nobody would have told him that because he didn't make it that far. So that was not what he said was actually not true. No. Well, that's not true. He wasn't considered a friend of the show. He was considered a participant. Um Only friends of the show were Sherelle and Black, and they were paid. Friends of the show for Kingdom Reign, that's who pays our checks. They get paid. It may not be a lot, but they get paid. But if you're a participant, you don't get paid. You just signed to participate. You said, I don't dislike Ashley. I think she's a real person because she suffers with depression. She says what's on her mind. She's an honest and no BS person. People like, well, I think the reality is trying to balance reality TV versus reality. You said that you should. I don't think he expected me to help him with his bills. I wouldn't help him no way, but I don't think he expected me to help him with his bills. God, I hope not, but I don't think so. So is that true, fans of the show? That's not true. As far as I know, they get paid. Mm. I honestly, in Yusha's defense on that, I don't think he saw it as going hard. I think he felt like she didn't have a safe place to express. And another issue I have for him is that while I saw him create this safe space for Joy, he seemingly always tried to check me when I asked him to be a safe place for me. So that was also very weird. And it's like, how can you see and be this understanding with someone you don't know, and I'm supposed to be your girlfriend and right here, and you don't do that? In fact, you, for all of y'all mad at me for being friends with Ashley, Yusha was a very big supporter of me making up with Ashley. In fact, I have a text saying that, Winter, you need to work things out with Ashley. I cannot have my girlfriend being at odds with the biggest DJ in DC. Now, I'm going to take ownership because everybody checks me when I tell that, because they said I should have broke up with him then. Black held me accountable. Somebody else said that too. Everybody's like, girl, when he said that, you knew what the deal was. He was never here for you. This was about positioning. And I really think in retrospect, it wasn't really about at times being Team Joy. It was about not rocking the boat with anyone, because he knew at some point he may have to reach back out and ask them. Like, for instance, he reached out to Clifton to advertise something for him. I believe Carmen intercepted that and let me know that he was going to Clifton, asking Clifton to advertise for him. Arena let me know that he had reached out to Jamie to go to Jamie's party. Ashley had reached out to me and said, hey, Yusha was trying to, keep in contact with Quick and all the things. He had an agenda. He had an agenda, and his agenda was, okay, if this does not work out, I want to make sure I make the connections just in case I may need to have these contacts later. And so, again, I think he definitely didn't have egregious motives towards me, but I don't feel like his motives were completely pure, because he definitely was very vocal about me making up with Ashley. Very vocal. And as an artist, he said he didn't want to be at odds with he didn't want to be at odds with Quick. He didn't. Marriott, I don't disagree. I think he felt like she didn't have a safe place at the time. Now, the only thing that made me raise an eyebrow, was Yusha is Muslim. And he made a point to tell me, so you guys remember the Romancipation? At the Romancipation, if you guys watch that scene, Yusha addressed Jamie first before he addressed Arena. And he later explained to me that Muslim men are taught not to address wives before addressing their husbands. He's a Muslim. This is what they practice. So when Joy told me that Yusha had reached out to her, it made me look at him sideways, because Clifton did not receive a phone call first. And that was Yusha's rule. Muslim men, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but Muslim men are taught not to interact with the husband. Not to interact with the wife before you interact with the wife. And he reached out to Joy on his own, and Clifton didn't know. So I'm like, now which one is it? Because you practiced this with Jamie and Arena, but yet you didn't practice it with Clifton and Joy. That was a red flag to me. That was definitely a red flag. And in my understanding, It was just weird. She said, "God, at this cast is a lot." Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh goodness. So, Colomet, that's a great question. I didn't know he was not, I didn't know he was Muslim off the bat. He described himself as a believer. And for me, um, I identify as a believer too. And I'm trying to think who told me he was even a Muslim. I didn't believe it, y'all. I'm gonna be honest, because he quoted scriptures. We prayed together. Um, and we ended up having a conversation for it. I mean, about it. I want to say like March, and he went into detail about him practicing both Christianity and Muslim. He read both the Quran and the Bible. He read his scriptures and the scripture. And I told him I thought that might be a conflict of interest, and he said he didn't think it would be. He said he had friends around him where they had differences of beliefs. But again, as a Muslim, he practiced Ramadan, and he asked would I attend church with him, but I was uncomfortable, or not church, they go to the mosque. And I told him I was uncomfortable with that because y'all, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian through and through. Um, so we actually broke up over a discussion regarding Easter. So the religion was a huge factor in why we did not work out. A huge factor. So that's a great question. That was actually the final thing. That was the final thing. You said that's how it's supposed to be, no matter the religion. Men should never address. Um, that's what he told me. You said, "Do I still have the D that are?" I don't know if I still have it. I thought that was weird. I think it's weird. I think it's weird. Paula said, "Why do you guys do reality TV? Wait till it's an embarrassment and know that it's not for you." Paula, listen, honey, I don't even know. If I had known then what I knew now, I wouldn't have done it. I don't know, child. I don't know. I have no clue. That's a great question. Sometimes it takes getting your head thumped. Sometimes it takes getting your head thumped. I don't know. I don't know. So we just honestly had a lot of different issues, y'all. It just wasn't going to work out regardless. I didn't like the way he moved. I don't hate the man. I wish him the best. Um, and yeah, it is what it is. Um, Nicole, I don't know. I don't know who put you on timeout. I don't even see any of my mods in here. Yeah, my friend told me that he was a Muslim. I didn't know. I didn't know. But he did feel like he felt like Christianity and Islam were, what did he say? They were more like brothers and sisters, or cousins than people like to agree. Um, have I talked to anyone? A couple people. Uh, Let's see, let's see. Any more questions? Yeah, I don't even see any of my mods in here, Nicole, so I don't know why you got put in timeout, child. I don't know. Any more questions before I wrap this up? My God, I've been on here for almost 2 hours. The people that I spoke to respected me for speaking my truth. I don't know how everybody nobody gave a real opinion, and I would imagine they probably can't, but they respected me for speaking my truth. Let's see what's next for my channel. Oh, lots of goodies. I'm so excited actually. Because this just gets back to things I love and things I want to do. So there's a huge overhaul happening. So stay tuned. You said I'm being bossy. There was no other man I considered bringing on the show. Who said that? I wasn't considering bringing any other man on the show. I really wish I had dated multiple men. I hate that I tried to have a relationship, especially a new one. Like, I just should have dated, like, went on multiple dates, you know? So I wasn't gonna bring anyone else. There was no one else that I wasn't dating anyone seriously at the time. You said it was no, I literally, Nicole, this is actually the first time I'm seeing your comment. I can only go by what he said. You have to ask him to clarify what he knows about the Joy and Black situation. Um, oh, let's see. What's your next personal move? Stay tuned. Yes, I'm still singing and get ready to get back in the studio. No problem. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, thank you. Oh, where did I meet my new boo? I met him. So this is the interesting thing. I met him the night before I was introduced to Yusha at a networking event. And we just hit it off. We became friends. Oh, is it J12 aka? You're referring to what I said at the reunion. Yeah, because y'all have to think. At the reunion, me and my new guy had been dating for 4 months. And I had met him a day before I met Yusha. And if we had a progress, we just stayed friends. We didn't progress into anything. But I'm like, well, shoot, if we had a progress, I could have brought him on the show. Like we're in a great relationship. And if I had known that the priority was more so promoting, then I would have brought someone that y'all really could have seen me grow a relationship with. I definitely don't like that what's been seen is, you know, this relationship that didn't work out and then you guys saw me go through a divorce. That sucks. So that's where I say I wish I either had to just dated multiple men or if I had known that me and my new guy would have ended up dating and doing so well. I met him the day before I met Yusha. Hell, I would have rather brought him on. Um, would you consider doing reality TV again? Depends on what type of TV, honey. I don't reality TV, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You said I'm happy you found. Oh, he's amazing, y'all. There's a lot that's next. I have a lot that's going on right now. Some things I cannot talk about, but as soon as I can, I will definitely keep you guys posted. This is why I'm telling y'all to follow me on my YouTube page. I'm primarily migrating away from my other platforms to focus on this platform. And then I'll be on Twitter. I love Twitter. You said, is it just me? Or did the reunion feel empty and didn't address much of the season? Jahari, I I, I can respect that point of view. Do y'all feel that the reunion felt empty? The reunion was weird. The reunion was weird. It really was. I am open to getting married again. I am. We let's listen. We ain't doing it until we know it's right. Yes, we are taking our time, Kim. We are taking our time, but we're enjoying each other's company. He's the yin to my yang, you know. Sometimes it takes time for you to find the right person. Oh, he would never come on this show anyway. When you listen, people make money for real. They got too much to lose. They not coming on no reality show. No, absolutely not. You said it felt hostile. Hostile. Oh gosh, that's funny. I like that name, Favored Hands of Judah. So, Marriott, now you bring up a great point, and I like to point out too. In season one, people said I came for their marriages, but that's not true. Carlos asked me questions. I just refused to show the receipts I had, but Carlos asked them questions. I didn't bring them up. Sure didn't. Thank you, Esther. You say you felt like it was empty. Oh, Regina, I have no problems answering questions. Hmm. Y'all, I'm gonna admit, sometimes I'm guilty of talking over folks, and I have to consciously remind myself to shut up. Like, shut up. Shut up. Sometimes I get irritated, but sometimes I gotta just shut up. Okay, so is it Colomet? K? I agree. I don't like that there was no resolve. We had none. Wasn't nan. Was not a nan resolve whatsoever. I hate that. You said no, they didn't fight. They didn't actually fight. It we had security there. There was not gonna be any fighting. Hey Linda. Yeah, I didn't like that there was no resolve. But thank you guys for hanging in there with me for an hour and 47 minutes. What I will say, y'all, is that I don't hate anyone on my cast. I don't like everyone on my cast, and I'm allowed to say that. Um, but I don't hate anyone. I don't like the way that things have turned out. Um, I wish things would have turned out better. I wish everyone well going forward. And I do mean everyone, even the people that I don't necessarily get along with or like, I wish them well. Um, I think everyone could have been a bit better in resolving and hashing out issues and taking accountability and issuing those apologies that needed to be issued. But it didn't happen. And things are what they are. I think you got to just glean from it what you can, chew the meat, spit out the bones, and keep living your life. At the end of the day, what I'm certain of is that this is not going to stop anything. Um, for me personally, thankfully, my business is outside of the show and I'm good. My life outside of the show is good. I have friends and family outside of the show and I'm good. Um, but I do wish things had ended better so that at the very least, it just wasn't so toxic. And it just is. It's toxic and it's just not a healthy environment. And I don't know that changing the cast will make it better. I don't know. I really, really don't know. Um, I think you lose a lot of the continuity, but I wish everyone well and whatever happens next. And I do hope that everyone can find some sort of peace with what has transpired and move on and live a happy, healthy life. That's like the best that you can hope for everyone. Um, hi Sakithia. Hi Sakithia. Which one is your daughter? I don't like everyone. That's truth. I don't like everyone, but I don't hate anyone. Some people I like, some people I don't like. You don't like everyone, and you don't have to like everyone. There are people who don't like me, and I don't care if they like me or not. Oh, she, Brittany, yes, yes, she's a sweetie. But it's an experience I had. I take the positives and choose to not hold on to the negatives. This show is 12 to 15 months old. The reunion is, good God, 8 months old. We filmed it back in August. So September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 8 months old. Over 8 months old. This reunion is 8 months old. Um, and it's unfortunate that it's ended this way, but y'all, as a true believer, regardless of what people think, I don't have the capacity to hold hatred and bitterness in my heart, which is why I can honestly say I'm not mentioning these people ever again. After the final reunion airs, I'm going to speak my piece and give my observations and my final thoughts because I agreed to do a final recap with Ashley. And that's it. This chapter is closed. If y'all coming over here to hear me talk about anyone, it's not going to happen. I don't have anything else to say. I said after this part of the reunion aired, I'm not ever mentioning Yusha again, because um, he's no longer a part of my life, and I wish him well in his new life. But to continue to bring up people for what? It's not, you're not, it's bringing energy to nothing. It's not helping my life move forward in any way. Um, and so I'm good. Like I said, I wish everyone well, and I'm going to move on with my life. And life has shifted in such a positive direction. I've gotten a lot of new, incredible opportunities that it's just like, um, good, 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 good luck. Like, good luck, and I wish you well. Keeping it sweet. I do feel that we could have all treated each other better, and that's all the way around. No one's innocent in that. Um, did you? I don't really watch the Detroit franchise. I can't even lie. Yeah. Yeah, it's 8 months old. It's 8 months old. Yeah, keeping it sweet. We both have moved on. We both have moved on. Congratulations. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That was an awesome time. So if you would like to become a channel member, you may do so by going to the membership tab. Do you guys want me to drop it in the, let me drop it in the link. Let me drop it. Let me drop it because I feel like somebody said they had a hard time finding it, and I don't want that to be the case. You guys make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to become a member, here, I'm going to drop it in the chat. We have members only chat and lots of good exclusive videos that you guys get. You get a more in-depth look into my life as a channel member because there are just some things I'm not going to post publicly at all. But the beautiful thing is, y'all, life does go on. Life gets better. Um, life improves. You live, you learn. I don't regret doing the show. I will say if I knew then what I knew now, I probably wouldn't have done the show. But you can't live life in regret. I did it. I experienced it. I learned what I learned, and now I'm moving on to the next chapter. Um, I am in a loving. Um, you said there's one person I think on the show who gave nothing. Linda, a lot of people think I gave nothing, and honestly, I don't disagree with them. I didn't give a lot because I was very scarred and traumatized by season one. So I did pull back a lot this season. So a lot of people feel like I gave nothing, honey. Y'all won't miss me. I don't think anybody will miss me. And I won't miss being on there. And I wouldn't even be offended. People gonna be like, girl, she gave nothing. My feelings are not hurt. I didn't give hardly nearly as much as I could have gave. I ain't even gonna hold you. Um, but life does go on, y'all, and life is good. Oh, look at here. My light done got brighter. Could have been bright all this time. Oh my gosh. Um, Linda said it wasn't you. Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't have been upset if it was. If even if you had said, Winter, you didn't give nothing to see, I would have been like, girl, I didn't give a lot. You ain't lying. But life is just good. It really is good. And I tell people this. I'm 42 years old. I've been through a lot. I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. Um, and someone said this, and I didn't disagree with them. And I think one of the things I've learned about myself through therapy is that I got married at 19, y'all. And from 19 until 36 or 35, um, yeah, from 19 until 35, y'all, I was somebody's wife. And a lot of times there's a, it puts you in this weird headspace where you have to grow up fast, but you also are still growing and maturing yourself. And so for me, one of the things I had to address in therapy is not necessarily not necessarily that I was eager to be married again, but I was eager to get back to where I was comfortable. And I was most comfortable being married. And so that caused me to rush to get to an end goal versus really getting to know people. And that's something I had to learn about myself and had to address and learn to make peace with time and slowing down in relationships and not rushing to get back to a place that made me comfortable. And so one of the things that I learned that I would do was that I would overlook certain red flags. And it doesn't mean that the person was an evil person, but I would overlook them because if it was promising and it would get me back to being in the position of being a wife where I was comfortable, I would overlook it. But you can't overlook red flags. Sometimes a person just isn't for you. And red flags doesn't mean that they're evil. Red flags just means that they're not your person. And I believe that where the situation or the relationship with Yusha was helpful for me was that it showed me that I had learned my lesson. And even though he was a great person and appeared to be a great candidate for some women, he was not a good person for Winter. And so for me, the reality is Winter had to learn to know when to exit something, even if it seemed like something was good or a person was good, and really examine the real things that make a relationship work or not work. And once I did that, that's why I broke up with him. I could not sit here and still be with someone that I knew was a Muslim. And no knock to anyone who's a Muslim, but I desire to be with someone who is a Christian like me. And the reality was he wasn't. He's Muslim, you know? And if a Christian woman was okay with dating him while he was Muslim, that's her choice. But as for me and my house, I want my man to be Christian. And thankfully, my man now is Christian, you know? and it works, and it definitely um has helped the foundation of our relationship. But I had to take ownership with why I rushed and why I would stay in things that were just not for me. You say, even though I'm behind, I still have a question. Would you have stayed with him after you learned he was having financial issues if everything else was good? So, great question. I feel like potentially, because I knew that he was behind in his rent at the cash. I mean, right after the cash trip, and I didn't break up with him. Um, so I think for me, I might have considered it if I felt like everything else was all cylinders. Because at the end of the day, I married the kid's dad when I was 19, and he was dead freaking broke. I just would have said it wasn't a preference, and it probably would have taken us a lot longer to get married. Because I'm gonna be honest, y'all, at 42, I really don't want to date someone who's not financially stable. And it's not about being rich, but I hold my own. I don't get child support or alimony. So I would prefer having a man that holds their own. And to me, if you're having difficulty keeping up with your own life, how can you come and be a part of mine? So I don't know that I would have. I can't answer that. Sometimes I lead with my heart and sometimes I lead with my brain. And I think if I lead with my heart, I probably would have stayed. But leading with my brain at this big age, I probably would have said, I don't think so. Thank you, keeping it sweet. Yeah, I believe in being equally yoked. Thank you, Esther. I'm not, so this is the thing. All I can do is tell y'all the truth of what occurred, but I've grown so much in this time. And I think, initially when we first started advertising the show, I was still getting hit up with so much information about him that it was just like so irritated. And I hate to feel like somebody played in my face. But honestly, y'all, God has been so good to me in the last I mean, he's always good to me, but he's been so good to me over the last 6 months that I just personally cannot stay in a negative place. And I can't continue to talk about something that's no more when I'm just really in something that's amazing. And I'm not talking about perfection, I'm just talking about something that works for me. And I really do wish him well. I do. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, Kim, that it was, yeah, I don't know. That's a great question, Tiffany, but I just don't know. But yeah, I do. I wish everyone well. Again, once the show wraps, I'm not discussing any of my castmates anymore. I'm gonna move on. To me, it's a non-factor. One of the things I will continue to speak on and speak out about is income disparity in these places and the toxicity and um the abuse that happens sometimes on these sets, y'all. It just shouldn't be allowed. I'm going to continue to talk about that, but I can talk about that outside of mentioning the people that I've worked with. It's just not necessary, and it doesn't serve me in any way um to discuss it. It just doesn't. So I'm not going to continue talking about them. They're not going to get a mention. Not over here. Hey, you said, in my opinion, being 4 months behind. Yeah. Um, and again, we all go through difficult seasons in life, and he might have just been going through a hard time, and that's fair. But we just had so many other things going on that it just wasn't gonna work. I'm sure, Kim, I'll remain friends with some of the people from the cast. I'm sure. I said I don't hate anyone. I just don't like everyone. Is there another reunion or a theater? Child, it's one more part. We almost done. It's one more part. I think this could have been two parts and been done. I feel like This reunion, 3 parts too long. I really feel like this could have been the last part. You said, are you going to the last reunion? Gretchen, I'm not sure what you mean by that. What's the last reunion? What do you mean? You mean the Mother's Day thing? If it's the Mother's Day thing, no, I'm not going. All right, y'all. We've been on here for 2 hours. I feel like I've answered as many questions as I've seen. And if I missed your question, y'all, it was not intentional. I tried to go back and scroll and see and post and get y'all's comments up there. Um, Tiffany, if I'm not mistaken, 38. I believe 38. You said, okay, I got you. No, I won't. Yeah, I don't think we needed three. I think two would have been sufficient. Because I don't even know that there's really like, it's not really too much drama in a third part if they edited it the way that I think they edited it. They really could have done two parts and we could have been done. So thank y'all for hanging in here with me. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you want to become a channel member, I did drop that link in the comment section, or you can go to my main page of my channel and click memberships to become a member. You do get access to exclusive content, members only chats. We're doing our first one on Wednesday, and I can't wait. That's when I'm unfiltered. I'm not as unfiltered on these public chats, but I am unfiltered in the members only chats because who got time to be filtered when it's in the members only? We're not doing that over there. So if you want to become a member, make sure you become a member. Hope I answer you guys' questions. I'll be back after part 3 airs with Ashley, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm able to stream to my platform as well. But once part 3 airs, y'all, I'm done with Love and Marriage DC. I appreciate all y'all's love and support during my time there. And on there, I have made a lot of great friends through some of the audience. And yeah, I'm just really grateful. The good, the bad, the ugly, it happened. Life happens and you move on. I love y'all. Have an amazing night.